Hi everybody, it's Shannon. I thought I'd give you a little update. It is Thursday. I think it's September the 5th. Anyway, yesterday I had my doctor's appointment for chemo, and normally I go on Mondays and I get unhooked on Wednesdays, but this time Monday was a Labor Day, so I went on Wednesday. Now, what's been happening lately is because my spleen is 20 to 30% enlarged, my platelets and some other things will be filtered through my spleen, and they go in there, and because my spleen's enlarged, they kind of just die off in there. Some of them die off. So I've had really low platelet counts for months and months and months. In fact, I think it's probably been before March that I've had platelet numbers in 2 weeks that have been above 100. 140,000 to 440,000 is normal, but they just cut off the 1,000 and they just call it, 140 to 400 is normal. So it has been, I don't even remember the last time I was in the normal range for platelets, but for somebody who's on a high-powered chemo like a FOLFOX regimen or a FOLFIRI regimen, they will say that if you can stay above 100, that's good. They will actually do surgery if your platelets are lower than that, which I kind of found kind of funny because they're not really big on, try not to fall down, you don't want to bleed, that kind of stuff, but yet they'll do surgery. So anyway, it's been quite some time since I've had a platelet count above 100. And this time I was fully expecting what happens usually, which is I go in on Monday after, I take my chemo 1 week, I'm off the next week, and I come back the following week for chemo, and generally my platelets are too low, meaning they're in the 80s. And my doctor said, since you're doing so well anyway and your CEA number is in the normal range, we're just going to wait another week and let your platelets bounce back up. And like this past time, I think they bounced back up to a whole 92 from 86 or something like that. But because they were trending upward, I got to have my chemo on the 3rd week, which I don't really like to do because I like schedules and I like to know that my body is getting that same dosage each time just to make sure that there aren't any, rogue cells floating around in there. So this time it had only been a week, would have been Monday, so it was just a week and 2 days. So I had fully expected, and I even told my husband, I was like, don't get comfortable. They're going to take my blood and they're going to tell me that, it's not high enough to get chemo, and I'm going to be unhooked, and we're going to go back in the car, and we're going to come back next Monday. We even took bets on it before the blood work came back. I bet that it would be 88, and my husband bet 94, I think it was. So I was very shocked when they came in and they said that actually it was 109. And again, I have not seen platelet counts above 100 in so many months. I just can't even remember the last time. So I was flabbergasted. So I'm hoping that, well, obviously I got my chemo. There's the port. There's Penelope down there. So I got my chemo. And I hope that this is meaning that this is the 3rd time that I've had it without the oxaliplatin, which is the really strong drug that has lots of side effects in it. So by taking that out, my oncologist was trying to let my liver settle down, try and let my spleen shrink on its own. And so maybe now finally having it out for over a month of not having that drug in there, maybe it finally is, everything's starting to settle down. So I'm hoping that that's the case, because I haven't seen levels like that in a while. And my CEA number is still in the 2s, which is the normal range. So that's wonderful too. So I'm really hoping that this whole thing is working without it doing anything to the cancer itself. And my oncologist is quick to tell me, 5-FU is a great cancer chemotherapy drug, and I'm still on Avastin, the biologic, so it's not like I've been taking off everything. I'm only been taking off one drug. So I try and keep that in my mind. So that's my update, and I think that's a really positive one. I was very thankful for that this week, and I hope that I see numbers like this again in 2 Wednesdays again. In fact, I hope they get higher and higher to where they're actually within the normal range. That would be wonderful. I do have to have another CT scan on my liver and spleen for my oncologist, and I'm sure he'll do the lungs too while he's in there. So hopefully I'll be able to see if my spleen has shrunk in size. I certainly hope it has, because I just don't want to go through another procedure right now. My arm, update on the arm. I don't get the bone met pain that I used to have. And if you ever had bone mets, you know the difference between bone met pain and another kind of pain. So I don't get that bone met pain in there anymore, which is wonderful. And truly, all of the pain did not go away until about 4 weeks after I had stopped radiation, which is what my radiation oncologist had told me, that sometimes it does take up to a month later. Some people feel it, after the 4th or 5th treatment, and it takes others a whole month after. So I was so happy to get rid of that pain. What I have not been able to do is get my range of motion back. I go to physical therapy twice a week. And even they say, it just comes a time where it doesn't necessarily hurt when they're like doing massage and stretching, where it's not hurting my arm, but my arm just flat out will not move. So I was going to ask the radiation oncologist next week when I go back to see him if that has something to do with the radiation. I don't know. So that's kind of weird. But what I told the physical therapist was, if you had given me the option between getting rid of the bone met pain or keeping the range of motion that I had, I would have chosen get rid of the pain every single day of the week. I can learn to use my arms in different ways, and I may never get my arm up to my head again. But as long as I don't have that bone met pain, life is so much better. I never really understood people who were in such pain that they were like, oh my gosh, I could just, I wish God would just take me now. My pain was not that bad, but chronically, I don't know how you deal with that pain, especially if it is really bad, over a chronic, long time period. It's just debilitating. That is much more the pain. Chronic pain is so much more debilitating than any loss of range of motion. I feel so sorry for people who have chronic pain. I don't know how they get up in the morning month after month after month and do that, because that's exhausting. I have fatigue with chemo every week, but there's nothing like the pain and exhaustion that comes from chronic pain. That's just the worst. So anyway, on that happy note, I'm going to say be strong and stay positive, because, that's all you can do. And I really think that positivity helps. It just does. Be in a good mindset. You can tell yourself, make it a happy day, and it will be a happy day. You have pain or flare-ups sometimes, and you just kind of deal with it. And that's okay because you've woken up today. And I read something on a website that said, you know what, I maybe have stage 4 cancer, but I woke up today, and there were 33 people on a boat out in California that didn't wake up. So I'm thankful I woke up today with my stage 4 cancer. So be positive and stay strong, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.